What I've come to appreciate in talking to various folks along the way is that entrepreneurship is not a process, right? It's not just a process. It's not just about connecting X to Y to Z. You've got to know that operational element of it. But it's actually much more than that. It's a mindset, it's a philosophy, it's an intentionality about the way that you're able to approach new opportunities that are out there. It's being awake and aware of what those opportunities are, and then being able to take those opportunities apart, really understand them, and then get right into how we might be able to make the world a better place based upon what that need or challenge is. And if you can have that mindset, that doesn't just inform your professional path, is what I came to conclude. It actually informs every element of life, that we can actually make that shift from living or simply being an entrepreneur in a professional context to actually going into one that's much more grounded in this idea of how can I lead my life as an entrepreneur? How can I look at life in an entrepreneurial way? How do I evaluate decisions in an entrepreneurial way? And how does it inform not just my professional path, but how does it also inform my personal path? And we're fundamentally saying there is a significant difference between people who simply live a life to people who lead a life, right? You wouldn't be sitting here on a Saturday afternoon if you thought you were simply going to live a life. You are going to be sitting here on a Saturday afternoon if you are ready to lead a life, if you are ready to take on the status quo and challenge it and push into new boundaries. You believe that the future is malleable, right? That's what Mark Andreessen talks about. The future is malleable. Entrepreneurs believe the future is malleable. The future is not dictated in any way, shape, or form. We have an ability to have a significant impact upon that. And that's what a life entrepreneur is, and the life entrepreneur believes that in every context. And what you recognize is that somebody who is leading an extraordinary life, who has done some really interesting things in their world, has been leading intentionally in life as a life entrepreneur, are one, pretty clear about who they are as individuals. So they have a clear sense of their core identity. And what we saw in terms of core identity is that there were 6 informers to core identity that ultimately led to your ultimate core identity. 3 external informants, which is, do you understand your history? Do you understand where you're coming from? Do you understand not just your history, but the history of your people? And what can you learn from that? How do you let history inform but not confine the direction where you're headed? How do you understand your circumstances, right? You're all in college. You should be, I think you are here because you're sitting here on a Saturday afternoon, but recognize the fact that this circumstance you have in your life right now is an enormously freeing, incredible environment where you can put on a backpack and head down to Latin America and go start whatever you damn well please. Because you have very little holding you back. You can figure out the financial elements of it, and you can go off and do some really extraordinary and interesting things in your life. And if you're not doing it, you're squandering this amazing opportunity you have. So understand the current circumstances you got. And then understand the relationships you have in your life. What are the relationships that are holding you back, and what are the relationships that are fueling you forward? And surround yourself more by that fueling forward relationships, the kind of community that you have sitting around you today. And then what do you understand about your internal informants, right? What are your needs? Needs versus wants. So the whole idea behind living life leanly. So don't get yourself so you're so overexposed in terms of financial leverage, financial borrowing, that you've eliminated all of your flexibility. Put yourself into a place where you have maximum flexibility. That's one of the things that we're trying to do in terms of the incubator world, right? To give you maximum flexibility so that you can flex those new ideas.